What's that? You hear, little girl, Frankie? You hear, little girl, Ace? Is that a little fucking girl?
Recording now. And we are rolling. Welcome to the Monkey Bar. Yeah, it's, like I realize that normally I don't do that, but the episode I just uploaded, the one we recorded last week, I decided to go all out again for old time's sake and do some animations in there. So it should be fun to see. You should see the thumbnail later.
I still think Fat Spider-Man is perfection because I use it to annoy people.
Yeah.
Is he real? Is he the real Peter Porker?
Yeah, he's I was gonna try and make a 600-pound life pun, but I can't. One doesn't come to mind at the
My
moment.
sticky web 100-pound life.
Spidey 100-pound life. I don't know. That's the best I got.
The sinister 600-pound life.
That also works.
Yeah, that works is a term I would not ascribe to it.
Yeah, if you get that fat, you're obviously not working. Before we started, we were talking about the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, probably my favorite RPG I played in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like last week I finally broke down and got Xbox Game Pass. You did too. You can play it on your PC for $1 a month. Well, $1 for the first month and then $5 a month after that. Yeah. I might cancel before that, or maybe I'll go a year for them to release it on Steam, and then it'll pay for itself. And I guess I've heard that once it gets ported to Steam, you can like transfer your data there. But by then, I'll probably have already finished it.
Yeah,
with any hope. But it's great. It reminds me right off the bat of New Vegas. The writing, it has that sort of subtlety to it that the Bethesda Fallout games just don't have.
I also like the designs, like the Art Deco look.
Yeah, it kind of is. I want to say it's more diesel punk, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with diesel punk, so. But it does remind me kind of it almost reminds me of like Back to the Future too. Of you have not Back to the Future 2, but Back to the Future as well as some other stuff. Mainly because the scientist guy looks like Doc Brown. Yeah, that's probably why.
His name's Doc Mahogany.
I saw people say, "Oh, it's Rick from Rick and Morty." It's like, no, this is good. This is the
He's
one.
likable though.
Yeah. There's, like I said, there's subtlety, and it's not like when you meet a character, it's like in the first 5 minutes you see, this character is this character, this type.
There is one character who I literally kicked out of my party because I hated them. So far, just one.
Like I haven't made it that far in the game yet. I'm only at the first mission still, but I can tell I'm gonna like it.
Yeah. I also picked up Mutant Year Zero. It's good. It's based on an RPG setting I really like. Yeah, what I fucking love though is the characters' names are Boorman and Ducks. Guess which one's the duck and guess which one's the boar.
Is it swapped?
No, it's not. It's straight up.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be a curveball or something.
No, but what I do fucking love is the dialogue is like the boar is the narrator and he's kind of the wise one, and the duck's fucking Daffy Duck with a crossbow, pretty much.
I was gonna see if I could tie that into Untitled Goose Game or something.
I would fucking kill for that crossover. You just like grab a guy's gas mask off and watch as he asphyxiates. Untitled Deathclaw game. Or
Untitled. You could do that with any. Probably more the low level.
Untitled Rad Roach.
Or Untitled Mole Rat game. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, because I actually brought notes because I had a lot of talking points that came to my mind. First thing that I wrote down was I watched a lot of movies over this last week, and the first one I watched was recommended to me by Shitty Webcomics, their series on movies to watch if you want to become a good artist or a great artist, whichever works. But I think that the movie that they recommend the most is Casino, the Martin Scorsese film starring Robert De Niro and Robert Loggia. No, he's in the other movie I watched. But yeah, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Sharon Stone. A lot of big names. I want to say, Don Rickles is in it too.
Wow.
It's a really good movie. It's long, but it doesn't feel like it's long. And I wasn't sure if, because I thought it was going to be, even with them saying, it doesn't feel like it's 3 hours at all. It feels like 10 minutes. I was still a little hesitant, but it just flew by like that. It's a really, really good movie.
I've never heard of it.
It's the movie that Scorsese did after Goodfellas. I keep wanting to think it's before, but no, it's the one he did after Goodfellas, and it basically is Goodfellas, except that there's just more of it. It's more dense, and that's a really good thing. So at this point now, I've seen both Goodfellas and Casino, and I love them both. I think I might actually like Casino more. No, I think I actually like Goodfellas a bit more. There's more character stuff in Goodfellas.
Did you know one of the older ladies in Goodfellas was actually the mom of a real Italian mobster? And when they put the collar, that's actually how they used to wear them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Highly recommend Casino. I like when I shared on Twitter, Thomas, he mentioned how Casino is basically the cure for anime. Or something like, because the way he puts it, it's really interesting, is that people who watch anime, or people who watch only anime, they have a very limited worldview. So when they see a movie as good as Casino, or mainly a movie or a story that's as good as it gets, basically, then you start to see anime in like a completely different light, where it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, all these things, it's just like really terrible all of a sudden.
I turn my brain off when I watch anime.
Right.
It's like if I'm watching a fucking Godzilla versus the Earth monster, I ain't expecting high art, but depending on what I watch, I pay attention to different things.
Yeah, but I highly recommend anyone see Casino, especially people who only watch anime. It'll definitely open your mind a bit. And
Ty Kristen down when he watches it, he slowly cures himself. He gains normal person appearance.
Who, Chris Chan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's too far gone at this point. Not even.
It's like the exorcism scene, and he's just chained to the bed and it's vibrating.
Or it's like the Boondocks version of that.
Read.
Yeah, you know what the next.
I ain't saying the
full
sentence.
We I don't care about being demonetized, but that might get us banned. So
yeah, fuck that shit.
I think I've let that slip before, and but, I don't want to push my luck. But segueing from anime, talking about anime. Segueing into, I also watched, because I watched Casino on Amazon, and there's a free trial for Starz, their streaming service. So Starz also featured the My Hero Academia movie, Two Heroes, and it sucked.
The only thing I like about that is that there's a fucking Godzilla character.
Yeah, and he's in there for 5 seconds.
And he doesn't, fuck!
And he doesn't do anything. He just do the peace sign. And then
he should be a playable character in the game.
It'd be like every battle that you play as him, it ends like Bambi versus Godzilla.
Yeah, come on.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the movie feels like a hour and a half long episode of the series. It doesn't. There's no real reason why it needed to be a movie. It could have just been 3 filler episodes, and it doesn't really add anything. The animation isn't particularly spectacular until maybe the last 10 minutes. And even that's not all that great. The final boss guy, and. At that point, it does feel like a video game. There's not really any emotional stakes. I think that it might also be my fault for watching that directly after Casino.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because I'm watching all these really stilted. I watched the dub, so the dialogue was even more stilted. But just watching, even if it was in the original language, and it's they're just standing around, just expositing. Here's where we are. Here's all this stuff that's going on. But don't go in that room. But blah 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 blah. Blah.
That's a rape dungeon room.
Oh, I wish. But anyway, but you compare that to dialogue scenes in the Scorsese movies, and it's
fuck.
every line of dialogue, every character interaction has a purpose. I think about the scene in Casino where Robert De Niro, who's the casino manager, he's talking, he's struggling to maintain control and see micromanage everything in the operations because things are starting to come apart. It's not the point where things are going downhill, but he's trying to move every part, and he's talking with his associates. They each have a blueberry muffin, and then he looks at the guy's muffin, and it's soggy and has a ton of blueberries in it. He's like, look at that, look at how many more blueberries your blueberry muffin has. And they compare it to mine. It's dry, and there's only 2 in here. They go back into the kitchen. He starts yelling at the chef. He's like, listen to me. I want the exact amount of blueberries in every single muffin. And then the chef just stares at him like, that's going to take forever. I don't care. Just get it done. I want every single muffin to have the exact amount of blueberries. Get it done.
And I fucking love that because that's how fucking chefs are. Any boss manager at a restaurant.
Yeah, and it's it makes sense from both a story standpoint and a character standpoint. It's highlights that exact moment in the story where he's starting to notice that all these things are starting to unravel, and it works so well for that and his character because he is that type of character and shines a spotlight on there. There is not a single moment like that in My Hero Academia 2 Heroes.
You know what I think my favorite dialogue like that is? Have you ever seen Dusk Till Dawn?
No, I haven't.
There's a scene where George Clooney, I'm going to butcher this, where he's like, do you believe, or called, they see vampires, and he's like, I don't fucking believe in vampires, but I know what I've seen, and those are fucking vampires. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite scenes because George Clooney is a fucking great actor when he wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just...
You ever seen the Ocean's 11 movies?
I have not, and that's something I really am going to fix one of these days.
I would watch the first one and see how you like it, because the other two aren't that. It's been a long, long time since I've watched any of them. I remember I watched each of them, but it's been I don't remember anything about Ocean's 12. I heard Ocean's 13 was better than Ocean's 12, but not as good as Ocean's 11. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched any of them, so I would have to go back and rewatch them to get an opinion.
Yeah.
I do not. So yeah, I don't recommend My Hero Academia 2 Heroes.
Why is it called 2 Heroes?
Because the only reason I can think of is that the final battle, it's Midoriya and All Might teaming up to battle the villain, side by side, and so even that's kind of underwhelming. Where it's there's going to be a challenger to the symbol of peace hero.
I thought it'd be a cool idea if the villain that's power vaguely matches that of Midoriya, so it's oh fuck.
Well, that's the kind of the plot point is the All Might's inventor scientist friend from the past. He's invented this quirk-enhancing helmet, and the villain gets his hands on it during this heist.
I bet it gets destroyed at the end, so no one can have it.
And so does the Midoriya gets a power gauntlet that keeps him from breaking his arm, but he destroys that at the end. And it's all this stuff. I mean, it is a filler episode. It's a really long filler episode.
It's
for the
the false Planet Namek.
Yeah. I mean,
but in movie length.
Yeah, I mean, the only good part of the movie is probably the very beginning, where it shows All Might in his prime as a high schooler, and they're thwarting this bank robbery in California that looks like Las Vegas for some reason.
Because in the My Hero Academia world, there is so much fucking prosperity, everyone can gamble.
Well, I mean, the My Hero Academia universe is kind of a dystopia from what I know.
Oh, I mean, just the fact that, I bet there's less crime, but the crime gets more fucked up.
Apparently, they make a point to mention how Japan has the lowest crime rate in the world at 5%. Everywhere else is a minimum of 20%.
Fuck. So Venezuela's just Mad Max right now?
It'd be better than what it is right now, I guess.
Yeah, if you hear fucking motorcycles, you run in Venezuela because both cops have them and they're corrupt, and so do gangs.
I mean, if people are driving motorcycles, then it at least means that they have gas.
Yeah, because they're selling people to organ collectors.
Oh, so it's Repo Man now, too.
God, fucking Repo. I will defend Repo to my dying breath.
I was talking about the other Repo Man movie with not Jake Gyllenhaal, but
the musical.
It was the non-musical one that came a couple years after it. But I didn't see that one, so I don't know why that's the first one I thought of.
The Genetic Opera is fucking perfect.
Yeah, Genetic Opera. That's another movie that I've been meaning to watch.
Well, I'm biased as hell because I like it.
Yeah. And also, I think I mentioned before Alexa Vega, the girl who played the girl spy in Spy Kids.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, that's her who does the 17 song.
Yeah. I would cast her as the character Vicky. At least in that film, maybe.
Yeah. You know, we have the same birthday, too.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. And same as Aaron Paul, also, the Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. When you said Paul, I'm like, which Paul ever was there? Is there a number one? They multiply.
Yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see Robert Rodriguez do like a gritty reboot of Spy Kids,
Oh, fuck.
where they actually like kill people and stuff.
And, and they're like, no, make it a kid's movie for like 10 minutes and then fucking Machete shows up as Machete.
The plot would be that they have to find who killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, fuck.
That would like the absolute balls to do a movie like that. That would be amazing.
Yeah, fuck.
I mean, the closest like mainstream movie I've seen do something like that was Kingsman, the first
Kingsman
one.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Do you see the trailer for the new one?
Yeah, the prequel, I guess.
Yeah, The Kingsman.
Yeah, I remember like seeing the trailer in the theater. I think it was the preview before Joker, and like I couldn't tell what it was at first. At one point I was like, "Is this an Assassin's Creed movie?" But
Yeah.
but no, it was. I haven't seen Kingsman 2 yet.
Kingsman 2 is probably my favorite of the two.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the villain is delightful. I don't want to spoil anything except that it redeems the song "Word Up" by Cameo.
I remember some critics were like panning it when it came out, but I think that that also highlights the sort of growing disparity between the audience reactions and the critic reactions.
I also have shitty taste in movies, so you can't trust my opinion.
I was actually bringing this up on Twitter. This is a movie critic that I used to follow. I'm not going to mention his name or the site that I know him from, but I've been following him for over a decade now. And it was not until his review of Leaving Neverland, he gave it 4 stars, this terrible, inaccurate documentary that fudges the facts. And he, in the opening paragraph, he uses probably the dumbest term I've heard at least this year, if not my entire life. He uses the term emotional evidence, saying like the emotional evidence of this movie is too strong to ignore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so not evidence then?
The fuck?
Yeah, it's like the
movie felt genuine, so it happened.
Yeah, I've never heard that term used before, probably because it's fucking idiotic. And it's just blindsided me to the point where I just tune this guy out completely. I still like check his website sometimes, kind of like the what I do with Anthony Fantano, the needle drop. Sometimes I'll drop in on his channel, see like, oh, this album that came out that I really like, and I check to see like if he said anything on it and like if he get like what number he gave it, and I'm gonna be like, okay, whatever. It's like
I kind of like Needle Drop, but I also don't listen to the music he does. I just like how he words himself sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know, like I don't have enough of an interest in the music he actually listens to. I mean, I follow his I don't subscribe to his other channel, the Fantano channel, where he like answers questions, asking him on Twitter. I like those videos better than his actual reviews.
The only reason I know who he is because there's a meme video of For Honor where he's going like thick. His thick meme one.
And damn, he's thick, boy.
And it's just Shigoki from For Honor, the big sumo dude.
Uh-huh. I've seen edits of that with various characters spliced in there. I miss his meme reviews, the That Is the Plan videos, which I guess he stopped doing because somebody wrote a mean article about him or something. Or like was claiming he was a Nazi, as per usual with journalists these days.
You know, it's probably the journalist I like the most, Jim Sterling. I mean,
I've heard that. I mean, I've actually been watching his videos again recently, but I have heard people like criticize him a lot in the past. I don't know. Like, I'll have to. I don't really.
I hear shit about him. I don't know what that shit is, and I'm just like, dude, I like Jim.
Yeah. Like,
He also introduced me to boglins.
yeah, Boglins, Pogs and Boglins.
I kind of wish they'd bring boglins back, to be honest.
I wonder if they're a British thing.
Because
I've never heard of them in
they're like
America.
from '87 and got limited run. It looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I take his opinions with a grain of salt. I think it was one video they did recently. I can't remember what it was, though.
He did one on Randy Pitchford.
Okay, yeah. I mean, everybody. That guy's fair game, so.
Did you hear about the Medieval Knights one?
Oh, yeah, that's the one that everybody knows.
I never heard about my life, and I honestly went, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I knew about that, right when the plate was hot.
Oh, man.
Oh, I just realized that ties into the restaurant thing. So.
Ooh. Let's keep this restaurant scene up.
Yeah,
So we talk about casino and the blueberries.
I should get less sleep more often. I'm on the ball with that. In my opinion, I've probably said like 500 times by now.
So far, I can't even say it twice.
Yeah. What else was I gonna mention? I guess I can talk about the next movie that I watched.
Sure.
Scarface.
Oh.
Which I also got through the Star. I think it was through the Stars subscription. But yeah, I watched Scarface, and it's funny when you when all you've gathered from it is pop culture references. I think I mentioned this before on with Terminator, how it's in a lot of pop culture, and how all the lines. Say hello to my little friend. And then, you're like, oh, man, this must be a really awesome, badass action movie. It's really depressing, though. It's like the whole movie is just this really, really depressing portrait of this guy who started from nothing, and by gaining everything, he lost his humanity and just becomes this husk who's just, full of cocaine. And that's the only thing that's keeping him going up until his death.
God.
It's just the end gun battle is the main highlight of the movie, even though it still has this really depressing feel to it. And I don't know if you knew this, there was a video game adaptation of it.
Yeah, The World Is Mine.
The World Is Yours, which was the slogan that he attached to his brand after taking up the Kingpin role. But the game posits the idea of what if he didn't die during this horrible cocaine fueled rampage, and it's that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole of the movie, doesn't it?
But at the same time, I say hey, you want to play a game where you just do coke and die?
Yeah, it's you could make an indie game off of that in overnight. But World Is Yours was a GTA sort of I want to say knockoff. I don't know if it's like saying Doom clone nowadays. It was an overworld game, heavily inspired by GTA games at the time. I never played it, but it always kind of intrigued me.
Wasn't that game it had the most curses of any game ever?
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
at the time, sure. Until Xbox Live became mainstream.
Oh, fuck.
You ever notice that with the ESRB ratings, online interactions not rated?
Yeah. Can you imagine it was AO.
Yeah. It's this game tells...
Someone called me a cunt waffle the other day. And I'm like...
I mean, you can make any bad word sound clever by adding waffle to the end of it.
For some reason, dick waffle sounds particularly horrible.
Dick waffle, shit waffle, fuck waffle, ass waffle, penis waffle. The list goes on.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the extra syllables and the fact that waffle is kind of a funny word.
God. But yeah.
Yeah, Scarface I recommend. It's really interesting.
How much fake cocaine was used in the movie?
Probably... I want to say probably at least an Amazon box full, or the size of a washing machine, maybe.
Because they have all the takes that they use the cocaine.
Oh yeah, if you count multiple takes, then yeah, there's probably a lot more. Just a ton of powdered sugar. I mean, that's probably I think that's what they used.
God. Yeah. Also, Tony Montana's an awesome name.
Yeah, I liked the. Yeah, it felt like the movie was talking to me when I was watching it, so it was all that more immersive.
I tell you what, I forget what movie it was. There's a character named Zach in it, and I wasn't paying attention. What?
And same with Iron Man with me. Yeah.
I love how, by the way, my favorite thing about the MCU of all the things is how Mark Ruffalo says, "Hey, Tony, hey, Tony."
Yeah. Actually, like, in all seriousness, I kind of get annoyed when a character has the same name as me. Like, it kind of bothers me. I don't know. Like,
Maybe you should
just
change
hearing
it.
my own name out loud. I don't know.
God. It's also weird because, like, Zach characters tend to be weirdos. Mm-hmm. Like Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, and Richard C. Meyer, who goes by the pseudonym Your Boy Zach. Ya Boy Zach. I'd rather not like talk about Comicsgate this episode. I know
Let the sleeping dog lie.
Yeah, the last time I we were talking about Comicsgate. That episode got dislike bombed or whatever. I mean, I hate using that term because it's like, but it became our most disliked YouTube review, and like some of the comments were like, you like it's really unethical to be slandering innocent people, and so I'm like, I don't give a shit. We're just goofing around.
Yeah,
like, and it's not like. Whatever.
Like,
I just ignore those people until now, and now that I'm bringing it up on yeah.
My motto is, I may say shit, I don't wish shit to come upon you, unless you're like a child rapist or a pedophile, or someone who unironically says literally before every sentence.
Literally, that's the name of a comic that doesn't suck.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, literally's good. Literally's good.
Yeah,
I take that back.
So speaking of literally, Thomas or Randall or Mod 1, whatever his name is, the name attached to this comic is Randall, but Kill Everything. I think I brought that up before.
Yeah.
I did art for that, but Kill Everything was like the Tumblr account was taken down. They took it down themselves though, and the reason being that like Tumblr has just become this hellscape that nobody wants to go to. So they decided to put Kill Everything on Gumroad for free. So you can download it for free in a nice and tidy zip file, and it's got a little bit of extra content in addition to the comic pages that have been done.
Does it have the original script?
Yep, it has the complete script of every single issue, even past issue 2. So stuff that hasn't even been done, that hasn't even been like drawn yet. And also, it has a nice little afterword by Thomas talking about, here's what this whole thing was about, and him giving thanks to all the hardworking artists, myself included, who helped move it along.
Good on you, Thomas, or Randall Flagger.
Or literally man, whatever. He's literally a man. Unless he's going by Randisha Diaz.
Randisha.
The first black trans Latinx whatever. Like,
I thought it was like Latinx, like dominatrix. What?
Should mention that and next time somebody uses that.
Oh man, where's your whip, lady?
Yeah. I know that even Mexicans or Hispanic Latinos, they think it's dumb because like Spanish is a gendered language.
Yeah.
So it's like basically just. I don't know.
I like gendered languages. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Some might say that... I was thinking about this a couple days ago, was how people don't... With actors, people have stopped using the term actress for the female version of actor. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like to me it kind of irks me because it's like I don't know. I'm kind of old fashioned, see. But I don't know. I prefer actress. I think it's a nicer term.
Yeah.
It's like waiter, waitress.
Cockpickus.
Yeah.
What? I butchered that joke. Like how we have like the attendant on a plane, and like I thought for like 1 millisecond cockpit, and they went no.
It's not like every like term like has like gendered separates thing.
Yeah,
like
officer,
teacher. Like the female version of that isn't teatress. It's kind of fun. Like I like wordplay like that, where it's like thinking about like what words have what terms and
it's
stuff.
weird to the point.
But all these SJWs want to take that away from us. It's like, but I'm getting off topic.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of having fun with that.
Yeah,
like at this point, that's really the only thing you can do.
Just sit back, have fun, and hope shit don't hit you.
Crack open a cold one with the boys, your monster can, put on your sunglasses, and just sip and think about the old days.
Imagine like cracking open the can, and it's like a Sunny D commercial and Rainbow Shootout.
Or no, it's Al Pacino's in the commercial. He cracks open the can, and just like snorts it. It's like Monster Super White, the only monster that's full of cocaine.
The only drink that's 99% cocaine and 1% monster.
Or try Monster Dark. Say hello to my chocolate blend. Yeah, Jack and Jill makes me sad whenever like it ruined Al Pacino for me.
Oh my fucking god, Al Pacino is. Oh my fucking god.
You knew about that?
I knew.
Like the whole plot of Jack and Jill is that
Al Pacino went into fuck Adam Sandler.
They're trying. Like Adam Sandler plays a advertisement guy who's trying to get Al Pacino to be in the Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh.
And he uses his twin sister Jill to like seduce him into it. And then it ends with that commercial for literally a commercial for Dunkin' Donuts where he's like singing about the Dunkachino. And that's the reason that they get Al Pacino is because Al Pacino rhymes with Dunkachino, kind of.
Yeah,
sort of.
it sounds like cappuccino.
Yeah.
I'm a cappuccino in your ass.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember if I didn't watch the movie.
If they say hello to my special dark blend, I would fucking slit my throat.
It says, "You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend." And he's got like a donut pattern underneath his jacket. It's like the worst thing. Like you should watch the Red Letter Media.
I have, but I also keep the plot out of my head. It's just more the extortion angle.
Okay. Yeah.
The second part where they go on their conspiracy theories is what gets me.
Yeah, I keep getting that one recommended to me on YouTube.
Probably
to this day. It's been like years, and every once in a while on the sidebar, I see that specific video.
I get a lot of like cartoons for little kid. Hello, Bobby Shark, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I got one of those on a SWC video at once. I think it was because they were talking about cartoons or something.
Oh my god. Hello, Bobby. I think that's coming. Sorry.
It's just a video where he just goes, "Hello, Bobby," and they have like 20 mid-roll ads during those 2 seconds.
Yeah, it sounds like hello, Bobby.
Yeah, every frame as an ad.
God, I wish I came up with the idea of an algorithm making those cartoons. That guy is fucking rich, and he can afford to buy himself a goat in whatever country he lives in. Because goats aren't expensive, really.
No, all that money goes to the government where he lives.
Great commissioner, look what we have.
Yeah, they threw him in jail like the Flappy Bird guy.
God, I watched Kung Fu Panda recently again, and you have a scene where they have Tai Lung in that show. It's all I'm picturing the Flappy Bird guy in, and it's got all these pillars, and he's trying to get through by basically flying. God.
I was just checking to make sure that we were recording because this is a really good episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
One of our better ones.
Yeah, this is plugged in, thankfully. I'm just gonna like run that into the ground forever. You don't even have to do any work. I'm just gonna make fun of myself for not doing it that one time.
Takes away my work.
But going off a different subject, like going down the list, I was thinking about Captain America today. I was thinking about spoilers for Endgame, but the end of Endgame where he hands off the shield to Falcon.
Yeah.
I know some people were saying he should have handed it off to Bucky. And I was thinking, like, what would really be neat is the next Captain America movie being like Gran Torino, where he's like living alone, and there's this kid being bullied by like gangbangers, and then like he teaches that kid to be the next Captain America, trains him.
Oh no, you would have to be like, so in the comics there are other people who tried the serum and either died or were crippled by it. Mm-hmm. It's a descendant of a kid who has a super soldier serum in him. But the kid don't know how to use it. But like Captain recognizes the signs. That's a fucking big 5-year-old.
What would really be interesting, and this would actually probably be a sign of where Marvel's priorities are, if that was a character who's never appeared in the comics. Like the day that they start creating original characters for the movies is the day that Marvel Comics is going to die. Or the day that like they will give up all faith in comics altogether.
To be fair, there are some original, but not anything like a main character being original.
Right.
It's nothing like Shekelstan, the new superhero. What the fuck?
Now he's a descendant of Jeffrey Epstein. Just when things were going great for this recording, we just have to throw it in the garbage.
I'm sorry. I thought just the word shekel is hysterical to me. It sounds like a cartoon villain from like the 80s. Like he'd be on He-Man. He'd be like Orko's twin brother. like, I think probably what I like about the MCU is them being able to fix and change and play with the different ideas of Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Ghost. Despite that movie being mostly shit, Ant-Man the Ghost, I liked her.
Yeah.
The character. Mm-hmm. I hope we get Giant Man in there, just like fucking Morpheus, like, I found my old Pym particles, and he walks in like the fucking Hulk. Or, not Hulk, Giant Man.
No, I forgot that Ant-Man and Giant Man were two different characters.
In the comics, yes, no, kind of. He was different aliases. He fucking changed his name every week. Like, hey guys, look, I got my new check. Look at my new costume. Mm-hmm. I like to imagine he dressed like Liberace when he wasn't out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of Captain America Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like, and then like Falcon's just like, hey, what's up, Captain? And he says, I've been fine. And you look over and this kid's in the basement punching a side of beef.
Yeah. Or he'd be punching like concrete.
Oh yeah, and he's basically maybe a little bit like Karate Kid where he does weird shit.
Oh yeah,
like,
that'd be neat.
Yeah, like he says, all right, you think you're tough, open this without breaking it. It's like a puzzle box. You gotta be smart to be Captain America. I'm sorry, need to take my heart medication.
I was trying to think of what stuff he did in the first Avenger movie.
Run down a Nazi vehicle.
Right. So you'd have to think of like ways to call back to that stuff.
Yeah, or even like maybe
I need you to get in this refrigerator. Just stay there until I say you can come out. Just leaves him in overnight because he forgot about him.
No, he left him in there, and he got a call from his niece, and he's calling her on the phone, and next thing you know, he walks in there and the kid's got blue skin.
Or he says get in, he opens the door, and then the Joker's in there.
Wrong fridge.
Damn it, Arthur! I told you not to keep coming back here.
No. I honestly think that the movie version, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, I get confused. It's like Joaquin, but he's also the Joker.
He's Joquisha. That's gonna be the sequel, where he swaps.
Hey, by the way, who would you cast as Harley Quinn?
I actually think Margot Robbie is pretty perfectly cast.
Yeah, I couldn't see her being an abusive Harley Quinn like your image.
Yeah. If it were like an actress from any era, I'd say maybe Sharon Stone. Because she did a really good job in Casino. I actually remember, because I remember, and my grandpa actually had he had a sort of hobby back in the day when I was like a teenager growing up. He would have subscriptions to Starz and HBO, and what he would do, he would just record stuff off of that, movies off of these stations, and then put them on DVD and just have a huge library of DVDs. And that was his hobby, but it wasn't much of a hobby. But there would be times where I'd stay over, and he'd have that on the TV. And I actually do remember, because when I was watching Casino the other night, there the scene where Sharon Stone is smashing Robert De Niro's car in the driveway with her car. I actually remember that scene from when I was 13, 14.
You got the fucking shakes.
I was like, yeah, this feels really familiar. I think I've seen this before. And it's funny because when I heard about when SWC recommended Casino, I'm like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen this before. This doesn't sound familiar. But yeah, I remember bits and pieces of it to this day.
So I recently read-down on Game Pass, got Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh,
really?
And I downloaded it, and I'm playing it, and I was obsessed with this fucking game. For my school graduation picture for junior high, I was doing the Volgan pose, where he has his knuckle on the ground, arm like this, looking up. You could tell I was in the special ed class. But every single sound effect I remembered, except that there was a codex call about Godzilla that I did not remember. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? God. I kind of miss... I really like the idea of that game having first aid for Snake, where he'd have to, break his arm back into place or pull the arrow out.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't that. Yeah.
I love that idea. Maybe even eating animals. And it's revealed that Snake really likes the taste of anaconda. His anaconda don't want nothing.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there.
No. When I went there was there's a game called Planet Zoo. It's by a guy who made Jurassic World Evolution. It's Zoo Tycoon but better. And in their new game, they have the fucking worst roster of any animals ever. They don't have polar bears, kangaroos, or rhinos, but they do have 8 species of crocodile. I like crocodile. We don't need 8 crocodilians. And I put my yellow anaconda, don't want none unless you have a proper fucking roster. That was my one happy joke. But yeah. Gran Torino's. I love this. Captain America, Gran Torino. They probably go like Captain America, the future soldier, spring soldier. Like he's like a spring chicken.
Or you could say a soldier for all seasons.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of like a Superman.
And eventually just DC is bought out by MCU, so now we can just have like fucking Superman fight Captain America.
You ever read Superman for All Seasons?
It's on my list of things to read. I heard it's one of the best Superman.
I'd say going in, don't let the art style put you off immediately. I know that's what kept me from reading it for a while, because the cover art like Superman just looks like a thumb in the cover arts, and that kind of put me off for a while. But the art is actually really good. It has this sort of Norman Rockwell feel to it, and I think it works really well for the story that they're telling. It's funny, I actually found this out recently that Man of Steel was Zack Snyder based the script, or like that movie. Some of that is based off of Superman for All Seasons, and that is just so sad to me.
That he saw this and made that.
Uh-huh.
You know, I read this really good comic, and now I'll proceed to thoroughly fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. I just heard recently that the Snyder cut of Justice League is coming out, or it was screened for some people, and they're saying like how it fixes the movie. I'm like,
what if it does? Like, what if you like watch it and it's like fucking amazing?
I'll believe that when I see it.
And on that day, I'll ride my flying pig in.
That would require me to watch Batman v Superman first, and fuck that.
I actually saw it in theaters. I had a front row fucking seat. I have never heard people like actually go like, ugh, in a movie as much. There are people like someone brought their kid, and they didn't. The kid wasn't even crying. They just left. I like to imagine they left a little toddler sitting in the seat like, and they put him in the Snyder Lost Children Fund for all the kids that are abandoned because of him.
Yeah, the Justice League, I can at least kind of believe that the Snyder Cut fixes some of that, because Joss Whedon stepped in to direct, and you can see his filthy, groping hands all over this movie.
I just picture him like fucking groping Henry Cavill's like mustache. Yes, more.
I'm still not gonna shave it. Stop it.
Fucking Superman needs a porn stash. Like, he needs a fucking he needs the outdoorsman one. You know, like when those guys and they're like they work in a ranger station. They got that long mustache.
I remember. I think it's the end of Superman. Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, where he finally grows a mustache.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there have been stories where he's grown a mustache before.
You know how he shaves?
Yeah, he uses heat vision in the mirror.
Imagine if, like, he tilted his head and went through the window and you're, oh my god, my kids! And he stops and says, you're welcome. Superman, but in the style of the other Peter Parker from Spider-Verse, where he's like a depressed drunk. Superman, can you stop punching the wall? We need to rebuild that foundation. Everyone knows he's Superman because he's too much of a fucking has-been to keep up the disguise. Wow, Clark Kent's got a beer gut just like Superman.
Nah, I can't.
Yeah. Superman's you can't do that to him. Like, that's like a character that I understand. The mythos won't allow it.
Yeah. You probably could have done that in like the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that every other issue where he turns evil and like becomes an asshole.
Yes, I am Ultraman.
So he eats a pile of hamburgers.
Yeah.
Punches a hole through Jimmy Olsen's stomach.
Like,
but then you read it and it turns out he was actually removing a tumor. And he was actually the good guy the whole time. Or he was a robot or an alien or something. I mean, he's
my
already
pitch.
into it.
He's just got a super good PR man. His PR man is fucking like... And if he was a character in Fallout, he has fucking 10 charisma and 10 luck. Unfortunately, he cannot escape his hypodermic chamber or he dies from a stiff wind.
Speaking of comics, you're familiar with Doug Tennapel?
Name's super familiar.
He's the Earthworm Jim guy.
Yeah.
He's been making a comeback lately because he recently crowdfunded on Kickstarter his Earthworm Jim comic.
Yeah. How was
it? I mean, I don't know if it's out yet. I think it might be, but I'm not sure. Anyway, like I heard about him recently because he invited SWC on to his podcast. And yeah, like in his latest podcast episode, he mentions how... I don't know if he actually invited them on, but I think that some people in the Discord have been pointing out that he mentioned them by name in one of his podcast episodes, saying that like they're real laugh riots. He likes to listen to them while he draws. So,
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I wish he'd invite me on, but at first I would have to make a comic. So, like, and I am working on that, which I guess can. Well, first I'll say a bit more about Doug Tennapel.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But yeah, I still own some of his books. I own Gear, which is, I think it might actually be his first comic book. It was the story that Cat Scratch was very loosely based on. So like because the book is based around these cats, anthropomorphic cats who pilot a giant robot, and they fight this other giant robot for control over this Messiah robot figure. Or something. It's hard to explain. You have to.
It's fucking amazing from how it sounds. I'm only picturing like super realistic cats, and like, they hit the control and it punches.
Yeah, no, they're cartoon cats. They're very similar looking to what they looked like in the cartoon series on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had to change things around for the animated series. There's no blood. There's no Christ or religious
Kitty
references.
Christ.
Nah. Though I want to say maybe no, I don't. Like I would have to watch Cat Scratch again. That was a good show, but anyway, like the other books that I own are Iron West, which is a steampunk western where like a computer AI called the Demiurge falls to Earth in a comet, and it starts creating robots out of local machinery. And this goofy doofus outlaw guy and his prostitute girlfriend have to stop this thing from taking over the town.
Oh my god!
And I think it ends with it ends. I don't know if I want to spoil it, but it ends with a giant robot battle or something.
Oh man!
I think it's. I don't know if I'm confusing this with Creature Tech, but I think it ends with a giant steampunk robot, the evil giant steampunk robot fighting a giant newt. Because like
that is all of my favorite things now.
Because Doug has this sort of fascination with newts, because newts appear in Cat Scratch. Even has like a graphic novel series for kids called Newts. And in the last book I own is Creature Tech, and it's probably his most blatantly religious book.
Is he a religious person?
Yeah, he's a Christian, and he regularly incorporates Christianity into his books. I think it works really well in Creature Tech, and it has I think in most of his books, because he just goes so out there. It's not like worship, don't be sacrilegious or whatever. He more or less plays around with themes and stuff. Like in Creature Tech, one of the major plot points or MacGuffins is the Shroud of Turin, the drapery that Christ was buried in, and it revolves around this shroud being able to resurrect people and things. So the bad guy uses it to like resurrect the dead, like an army of zombies or something.
Oh man!
And it gets really, really creative. Like he takes it into a butcher shop, and like all these sides of beef just coagulate into like this giant golem made out of meat and sausage and all this stuff. And then it walks into traffic, and then it gets hit by a semi truck.
Ah, shit!
And the bad guy is literally like, he went to meet his maker. And it's spelled probably what you think it would be.
God, I fucking love his work.
Yeah.
I only really knew Earthworm Jim, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But from how you describe it, I need to look into his stuff.
Yeah, I would highly recommend starting with probably Iron West. And there's a bunch of books here at the library, like Cardboard, Ghostopolis. I don't know if they have Bad Island here, but that's another one. He's put out books on a regular basis. So yeah, I'd highly recommend his work. And speaking of comic work, we can segue into the creative process.
I want to go first here.
Sure.
I had to fucking drop NaNoWriMo.
Oh.
Because it's wood hauling season, and a lot of our wood turned out to be infested with beetles and stuff like that. And fuck that beetle, because it put me behind. So I'm just going to go, I'll have a complete story by the end of the month. You know, not a fucking hard deadline now.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm still chipping away. I know for the first couple of days of this month, I had this stomach bug. But it's gone now. I think it's still kind of clinging there. I tend to get the regular bug or a little bit sick during the winter or fall or whatever when it starts to get cold. But I'm gonna keep my belly aching to a minimum. Hardy har, yeah. But I'm still chipping away at the collapse, which I'm actually getting more done than I thought I would, and it feels like it's a little bit too easy, so I might have to step it up a bit and see how, like, maybe aim the goal for like 100 pages, because I'm already halfway through the script, like halfway through 20 pages at least, so I might have to ramp it up to 50 and see how far it goes. Actually, no, I'm like, by the time I get to 20, I'm gonna sketch out or like draw it up those 20 pages, and if I'm able to get that done before the halfway point through the month, then I'll shoot for 50. Because right now I'm actually doing a lot better than I thought I would, considering the sickness and all that stuff.
Yeah, I do have a complete idea of the story. I do have I have my goal. Now it's just putting that goal to work.
I mean, if you can just write a script. You don't have to do the art.
That was my goal, actually, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I set my goal fucking low.
Yeah. Like, I keep getting distracted by different stuff, and I find that the deadline is helping me focus a bit more. I know that I mentioned before how I went all out with the animation for the last episode. I did all that today, actually. But I think that is kind of encouraging, because normally it would take me days or weeks even to do these animated things, and it's helping me, like, the time limit is helping me sort of focus on what's important, like getting the important stuff done first.
Yeah, my goal is I want to tell a story that actually evokes emotion instead of just fucking recursive sparrow, man.
Yeah, I think that the most important thing is to do a shitty first draft first.
Good, yeah.
Because that's something that I'm stumbling with too, is I'm halfway through the script right now, or halfway through 20 pages right now, and I'm looking at the characters and the flow of the plot, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Who is this guy? Who is this main character? I don't know who this is. Like, I need to...
It's Cotton Eye Joe. Where'd he come from? Where'd he go? Where'd he come from? What's his fucking name?
I'm like, and I have to think to myself, stop editing. We'll figure this out later. We can flesh out who this guy is later. If it doesn't work with the flow after I look at it, then we can go back and do the second draft.
Yeah.
I think that's more important than anything with writing. And it's something that I've struggled with accepting for a long time. But I have a feeling that this is going to be the one.
I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, that's probably because I did a shot of 500 energy before I came here.
Yeah!
So it's probably why my brain's going a mile a minute.
That's what you do when you say energy. You have to go, yeah! Like an old WWE wrestler.
Oh, yeah, brother.
If you can't do Macho Man Randy Savage, you don't deserve to be a human. You disintegrate into dust.
Yeah.
All that's left is your frame husk reaching out.
So other than writing in wood, anything else going on?
I have I admit probably buying Game Pass in November was a fucking bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been playing Outer Worlds that much. So.
I've been doing it before I go to bed, is what I usually do.
Yeah. Speaking of wood, have you been doing No Nut November this year?
Kind of, but mainly because I've been like, fuck, I need sleep, and not like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I have sort of this combined strategy of No Nut November and combining that with No Shave November. So where if it's like I only allow myself to shave if I skip a day of nut. So like
You're gonna look like a fucking beard man like me.
I don't know. I managed to shave yesterday, so
Yeah.
you know that's a good start. Like I don't want. I think it's. I actually am in the camp of thinking it is kind of unhealthy to like hold it in. I've heard that it's like it clogs up your prostate or something. I don't know if there's any factual evidence to that.
Ozzy Osbourne once tried to lie to his wife and said that like this man was crippled because of something called blowback, which is where if they don't do it for a while and the woman blows in on it, that it'll actually cripple him.
Oh, really?
And she believed that for about 10 minutes till she stopped, evaluated it, and then realized that he popped the Molly and fell asleep. He once date raped himself. He took a roofie, not realizing what would help him sleep. And he fell out of bed. He stuck between the bed and the... Fucking Ozzy Osbourne would be the perfect Mad Max character.
I mean, he did a good job in Brutal Legend, which is kind of a Mad Max game.
Make him like a priest. Like
he is kind of like that. He has at least the flowing garb, and he actually is probably the most articulate he's ever been in an acting role.
I'm flowing on.
It's actually like more articulate than that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean like
I'm the fucking like I'm the Lord of Steel.
I fucking love him. Even when you can't understand what he's saying, I just love him. Probably it's because I was raised on the music. I did kind of decide something that I do want to do with my story. I want to explore the idea of like 3 different meta worlds. Can't say metaverse, personify would kill me. Meta demons live in the ultraverse or some shit like that. But like there's demons of body, mind, and spirit. And that affects the form they take. Body or more carnal creatures, flesh, bone. And I want to play with this idea of it being somewhat symbolic of how when you work at a shitty job, it breaks your spirit, breaks your body, and shatters your mind to waste. But I wonder if that's a bit too on the nose.
I mean, it depends on how you put it into the story, I think. Like, it doesn't... Like, the worst thing you can do is explain it in detail in walls of text.
Yeah.
Unless you're writing a novel, then... Like that a novel is a wall of text.
Just have like an entire panel of text and it pulls out and it's like the book cover and it's like, that's a thick tome. THICC.
I've thought about, because I think that like the RPG Maker pack that I got, it has a visual novel creator. And I've thought about experimenting with that eventually. Just not right now because I'm working on the comic. I just know that visual novels are at least more, if not more popular, than more profitable than comics.
You could make like a little mini game thing for like, you know, when you're doing sneaking for spy stuff, you have to do it like Dance Revolution Control. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd probably have to play a couple of visual novels.
Kawada Shoujo is a good starting spot.
Yeah, another one that I always see recommended is Umineko.
Oh yeah.
That. Have you heard that?
I've heard of it. I don't have context for a lot of it.
Yeah, I've heard that it's got like people who've played it like rave about it. So it's been on my list. I don't know if you can say like, is it technically playing a visual novel or reading a visual novel?
Yes. Sometimes there's some that are a bit of both.
Because I know that one of the people, Mr. Feel from Gigaboots, he's like he lists it on his top 9 video games of all time. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence of like calling visual novels a video. I don't think they're video games actually.
Yeah, but they're
like I have played visual novels before, and you want to know which one I've played? Sakura Spirit.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone has their weeb moments.
Well, I only played it because it was on a Game Grumps episode. Let me just say, and it was before I stopped watching Game Grumps. Obviously. Obviously it was before I stopped watching Game Grumps because I watched an episode, whatever. The point is, they were making fun of it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this looks terrible. Let me play it just for laughs, and it's also going to stir the titties, but mostly for laughs. And I'm playing, and I'm going through it. I'm just like, this is so fucking boring.
Kawada Shoujo is interesting because it's got funny writing, but then if you fuck up, you suffer. Like, I'm like, oh, I got the fucking shitty ending. And you feel shitty. Like, you have to go outside and smoke a cigarette with all the... By the way, can I tell...
Also, I've played Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, yeah. I need to play Doki Doki.
Yeah. Do you know anything about it?
All I know is like the meme is do not look up anything about it.
Well, you gotta do it now. Like
All
you
right.
got because I always like it's really really hard to avoid spoiler alerts.
All I know is the Muscle Girl one.
Okay.
I've seen that.
Yeah. She like that version of her doesn't appear in the game.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but
Okay, yeah. I'll check it out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that because I know I'm gonna spoil something if I get into that, but. Yeah, it's one of those games that, I mean, it's free. It's one of those games that is ruined by spoilers.
Oh, man. It's like a BioWare RPG. If you know who the bad guy is sometimes.
I don't know. I haven't played Mass Effect, or I've played, I remember actually playing KOTOR for the first time and finding that plot twist.
And you're doing like, oh my god!
Yeah, I think I was 15, so it was like, holy shit.
And that was when you were in your Star Wars days too, probably?
I think I was still into Star Wars. I think I was. I remember I had an account on StarWars.com, and I had a username there. I can't remember. I mean, I can remember, but I'll withhold it for the sake of posterity.
I'm sorry. I just realized you've got the fucking cyberpunk code. The fluffy collar, the Asiatic dragon.
It is kind of pimpy, I guess. I've actually had this shirt for like over a decade now, or this jacket for over a decade.
You would look good if you like put like a hat and had a cane.
Yeah, fedora.
God,
I could see that. You should lend me your fedora.
I shall. That would be like the series finale of a monkey bar. I hand it to you, and like the animation turns to like full 3D text.
And I teleport behind you. I'm like nothing personal, kid.
No, yeah, like I'm just picturing like the Jurassic World opera. The chest is opening. It's yours now. And the hands opening up, and it's just the fedora instead of a dinosaur park with questionable ethics.
That's it for my list. Anything else you want to talk about?
Real fast. There's a game called The Hunter Call of the Wild. Game Pass. And I'm like, I don't think a hunt game's that immersive. And I'm like, wow. The redneck in me is awakened.
I think the only hunting game I've ever played was Cabela's African Safari on
Same.
Xbox. Oh, really?
Yeah, like, it was the only one I played. By the way, remember the theme we used to play when you'd be hunted by the animals?
No.
It was like, it's all these pots and pans.
Oh, yeah, I think I do,
That
actually.
theme used to fucking scare me as a kid. Like, I'd have to turn the music off. Yeah. It also taught me about African painted dogs.
You know, the music that used to scare the shit out of me as a kid was the door sound in Super Mario 64. Where if you don't have the right amount of stars or the key, and then you get There's like any Bowser laugh. I can't do the Bowser laugh. It's weird. Like what do you think they used to record that?
My guess would be I don't know.
It was probably like a slowed down version of some guy like going like oh, and like that's how they did Yoshi, was that they sped up some guy like going like bing bah.
Yoshi's creepy in a way. I would never want to have a Yoshi as a pet.
Yeah, I think I want to say I agree with you.
Yoshi would eat you, turn you into an egg, and shatter you on the wall.
Would you have the pet Yoshi from the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Fucking yes!
Yeah,
it's a T-Rex.
Yeah, or many like not really a Velociraptor. It kind of reminds me of a skink.
Yeah, it's like it's
like a mix of a Velociraptor with a skink.
I love it so much because that movie's fucking great.
It's good in that it's so bad. I don't even know if I'd say it's so bad it's good. It's kind of it has really good production value.
I would make its own film. Don't call it Mario. Call it like we're the Italian brothers.
No, like the fact that it's Mario is what makes it good.
You think so?
Yeah, it just the like. I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for big studio movies where it's like you look at it and you're like, how the hell did this get made?
I do fucking love the fucking everything about the design, just the concepts, art, styles.
Yeah, like that as a cyber, like in the the amount of world building detail, like the I guess the cars on rails, like where it has like the bumper car antennas that are connected to like a rail system.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that is really interesting. And yeah, it's the fact that you have all these really interesting ideas that for some reason Mario and Luigi are there. That fact kind of just adds like some novelty to it.
I'm just picturing, just because you said cyberpunk, wake the fuck up, plumber. We got a Bowser to burn.
Yeah, like the fact that like when I say that like Mario and Luigi in it kind of saves the movie, what I mean is that if you took Mario and Luigi out of the if it would be like Repo the Genetic Opera except if it wasn't a musical.
I have a question for you. You somehow gain executive control over the next Mario movie. Mm-hmm. Would you want it to be a traditional Mario movie, or would you want it to be a remake, sequel, spiritual successor of the same energy, the same quality?
Well, I'm going to avoid answering your question I got. I mean, between those two, before I go on my sort of original pitch, between those two, I would say I would rather have a studio do a more faithful adaptation and have an independent studio do a sequel to the Mario Brothers movie.
Dead on.
That would be about their kids or something.
Also, one last thing. Imagine Wario in that universe. Wario and Waluigi. We're just fucking crack dealers.
Yeah, but I had an idea for my own type of Mario movie. It would be like a sort of almost silent movie. Or it would be like Mario... Like he's like sort of he would be like a Charlie Chaplin kind of figure who doesn't speak. Everybody else in the movie speaks except him and Luigi.
I would make it him and Bowser. Have that sort of dichotomy.
I was thinking like he's like Mario's the plumber at this giant factory and Bowser's the owner of the factory. Peach is sort of the spokeswoman or something, and then he wants to like win her heart.
Do you know how I'm picturing this? I'm picturing this like a Disney short, sort of, in like design and style.
Yeah.
Kind of like where...
I was picturing more like Thief and the Cobbler, you know that?
Yeah, but I mean like just the idea of like these characters in different roles. Yeah. And maybe like he could have dreams while at work, and each dream's like a different little short thing. Mm-hmm. Like one where Bowser is, the evil Castle King, one where it's a Western.
Mm-hmm. Like going to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That's kind of what that was like.
Yeah, pretty much. Imagine if like fucking light.
The Super Show, all the episodes are free on YouTube.
I'm gonna look into them again.
Yeah.
Make YouTube poops.
Because I remember the first. I think only like when I checked, only the first episode of the series was free. But I think they may have I don't know if it's official or not. So maybe they're gone by now. Who knows?
Oh man, I really like the Mario universe is kind of an interesting world.
Yeah, they don't explore it enough though. Like I like how they do it in the Mario RPGs, where they actually flesh out some of the characters. But in the mainline platformers, everything is just kind of like, it's there.
I would like to see a Mario RPG, but you play as Waluigi and Wario, and your job is to pull off a bank heist. So you get different Mario bosses in the different games. Like you could get like the wedding planners to help you out. You could get like fucking, hey, it's me, Wart. Remember me?
So basically, Persona 5, except with Wario and Waluigi.
Pretty much. They never see it. Whying.
Never see it. Wah!
God.
And there are some thief characters in like if you count the RPGs. There's Ms. Mouse from I think she's like the hidden character you can get in Thousand Year Door.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also of course there's Nabbit.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rouge, but no, that's Sonic. Unless they decide to cross over again.
Yeah, like she's at a bar and like make Waluigi the noir detective for one scene where she's the femme fatale.
Uh-huh. She's like throwing all these innuendos at him, and he just like doesn't get them at all.
Yeah, he just keeps twitching his mustache.
Uh-huh.
God.
Well, I think that we can wrap it up just about now.
Yeah.
This was a really great episode, if I do say so myself.
I think so too, actually.
Yeah. Epstein did not commit suicide. I've been Tony.
I've been Zach.
And this has been The Monkey Bar.